Okay, let's have a go at these two questions. And we're dealing with quadratics in here, and you'll find that this is a very typical question. Right, so I have 3 to the power 2x, I have 3 to the power x, and then I have a constant. Now that looks like a quadratic. If I said this is the same as 3 to the power x squared, take away 10 times 3 to the power x plus 9 is equal to 0, you can see I have a power 2, I have a 3x to the power 1, and a constant. So I'll make that even clearer by saying let p equal 3 to the power x. Okay, so I'm substituting p instead of 3x there, and instead of 3 to the power x there. It looks like this: p squared take away 10p plus 9 is equal to 0. So you can see that it is a quadratic, and we're going to get two answers. So factorizing, we get p's in. Factors of 9 are 9 and 1. I'm trying to make the number negative 10, and the rule is that if the 10 is negative, if the middle term is negative, then the larger between the 9 and 1 gets the negative. And a negative 9 times a something 1 makes a positive 9. A negative 9 times a negative 1 makes a positive 9. So p is equal to 9 and 1. Now, a lot of students get stuck here thinking that we're finished. We're not finished because we're not trying to solve for p, we're trying to solve for x. So I need to back substitute now and say that 3 to the power x is equal to 9, and 3 to the power x is equal to 1. And 9 is the same as 3 squared, so that means x is equal to 2. And here, 1 is the same as saying 3 to the power 0, so x in this case is also 0. Okay? Let's have a go at question 6. It's a similar take with a slightly different variation. I have 10 to the power x take away 10 squared times by 10 to the power negative x. Now I'm allowed to split that up like this because the rule that you're familiar with is when we're multiplying, you add the powers together. So that's 2 take away x is right there. So that's the same representation, just been expanded, and that's equal to 99. Now, if I expand this a little bit further, it looks like this: 10 to the power x take away 100 times by 10 to the power negative x. That negative means the base is dropped to the denominator with a positive power. Okay, now denominators in general are just bad news. So let's deal with that. I'm going to deal with that by multiplying the left side by 10 to the power x and the right side by 10 to the power x like this. What I do to the left side, I must do to the right side. Okay. So I have 10 to the power x times 10 to the power x is 10 to the power x squared. 10 to the power x times by 100 divided by 10 to the power x. What do you think is going to happen there? They'll cancel. Equals 99 times 10 to the power x. So hopefully you can start to see that this line is now starting to look like this line over here. Okay, I'm going to move all the terms over to one side and make it equal to 0. So I have 10 to the power x squared minus the 99 times 10 to the power x minus 100 is equal to 0. Okay, time for my substitution. I'm going to substitute p for 10 to the power x, and I get p squared take away 99p minus 100 is equal to 0. Now when I factorize, I get p's go in. Factors of 100 are 1 and 100. And if the 99 is negative, that means the larger of these two terms gets the negative, like that. and then I have to work out if one is positive or negative. So a negative 100 times a positive 1 will make a negative 100. So P is equal to negative 1 or 100. Okay. Remember, we're not finished. We're not solving for P's. We're solving for X. So we have 10 to the power X is equal to negative 1. And we have 10 to the power X is equal to 100. So, first of all, this here is not possible. That's a no solution scenario because 10 to the power X is always greater than 0. It's never negative. Think about it. 10 to the power 2 is 100. 10 to the power 1 is 10. 10 to the power 0 is 1. And then 10 to the power negative 1 is still a positive number. 10 to the power negative 2 is still a positive number. So there's no scenario here where X, the value of X, can make 10 to the power X a negative. We would say this is no solution. And finally, over here, we can see that X is equal to 2. So only one answer for question 6. And that's it. Good luck with your questions.